welcome to the show. You're watching Headlines now with me, Ashmit Kumar, and this is, of course, the one show where we track all the key developments that affect you, that impact you, and, of course, one story that gave us a rude shock as Chennai woke up on the morning of September 14th was the Arakonam train tragedy that claimed 10 lives and injured dozens. Now, as the investigations continue, the driver of the second train, who was, according to reports, busy talking over a mobile phone minutes before the crash, is on the radar. Now, I have with me tonight Mr. Sunil Kumar, Inspector General of Police Railways, who's playing a key role in the investigations. He'll be joining us via satellite and will be answering some tough questions on how the investigations are proceeding. Now, welcome again to the show. We'll pose those tough questions to Mr. Sunil Kumar in just a bit, but first, a look at the top stories at this hour. As the Prime Minister backs the Home Minister, the BJP asks if he's compelled to shield Chidambaram to stop the scam shadow from reaching the PMO. In the most serious allegation yet, Pakistan's Foreign Minister warns the US it will lose an ally in response to US Defence Chief's comments. India loses one of its tallest sporting icons, Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi. The last rites held this afternoon. A mentally challenged man is brutally beaten in Madhya Pradesh. Who will police our police? And Shoaib Akhtar triggers another controversy. In his book, he admits to ball tampering and says Sachin and Dravid weren't match winners. Well, welcome back. And of course, the one story that we are tracking are the investigations and how they are proceeding into the Arakonam train tragedy that took place. In fact, just to remind our viewers, Mr. Sunil Kumar, Inspector General of Police Railways, is joining us right now, live via satellite. Now, Mr. Kumar, the first question I'll pose to you at this point is that a number of questions were raised post that tragedy about the efforts that took place, the rescue operations on that particular night. Now, would you care to shed some light on the efforts that were taken on that particular day of the accident?
See, on 13th night, around 9:30, sometime between 9:25 to 9:30, the incident occurred. And I am very happy to inform that all the various agencies, whether it was the railways, the police, NDRF, local police, railway police, everybody jumped into action, and within no time all the agencies were at the spot, and whatever best was possible, despite the adverse conditions of rain and it being dark, immediately efforts were taken to light up the area, and rescue operations started, which is why perhaps I would feel the evacuation work was completed so early, and the injured were given the medical help required at the earliest possible.
All right, we get that bit now as of now, but obviously a lot of questions have since been raised about the status of the inquiry. We do hear off and on from the officials that an investigation is underway. What is the status of this inquiry into that accident?
The inquiry is going on, and all the concerned are being inquired into. Both the technical aspects available, the records available, the persons who could throw light on the various aspects of the incident are all being examined, and we should be able to come to some conclusion in due course, and take the case to a logical end.
Right, Mr. Sunil Kumar. Also, another question at this point, an investigation of this scale would require different agencies, different government agencies to come together to cooperate. Now, in light of such a cohesive strategy which should be adopted, how is the RPF cooperating with the investigation at this point?
We are getting absolute cooperation from the RPF. Though we have the roles defined specifically wherein they look after one aspect and we look after another aspect, but the public could be best benefited, as well as we will be able to satisfy the government only if the two agencies work together, and we certainly are working in harmony, and we are working well in coordination with each other to see that we are able to be helpful to the public.
Right, Mr. Sunil Kumar, I understand that you're a very busy man, and especially tonight, one final question from you at this point. Apart from this, what are the special instructions that have been given to the railway police in light of these investigations?
Now our instruction is to see, if you are talking in general terms, our instruction is to see that we prevent crime from taking place and detect those which have taken place.
Right, Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for joining us with all those updates there. Mr. Kumar, they're holding the cards close to his chest, not revealing much, but nonetheless giving us some direction as to where the investigations are headed. Now, moving forward onto another issue that has been making headlines, that's of course the civic body polls and the build-up to those elections. And well, 6 months after a mind-numbing sweep by the AIADMK, which decimated all but the DMDK in the assembly elections, it's time now for all parties to rework their poll strategy ahead of the local body elections in October. And well, they're all flying solo, says Janani Sampath. Let's take a look. Each to his own. That is how the upcoming civic body polls are going to play out.
மாநகராட்சி மன்ற மேயர் பதவிக்கான வேட்பாளர்கள் ஒன்று சென்னை திரு மா சுப்பிரமணியம் BA LLB.
உள்ளாட்சி தேர்தலில் போட்டியிடுகின்றது, தனித்தே போட்டியிடுகிறது. எந்த கட்சியுடனும் கூட்டணி கிடையாது. மாநகராட்சி மேயர் வேட்பாளர்களாக சென்னை மாநகரத்திற்கு நான் மனோகரன், கோவை மாநகரத்திற்கு மாநகராட்சி மன்றத்தினுடைய மேயர் பொறுப்புக்கு கோவை மாநகரத்திற்கு அரிமா ஆடிட்டர் அர்ஜுனராஜ், மதுரை பாஸ்கர சேதுபதி.
Breakdown of alliance talks has been a part of this poll too, but that has not played out in full media glare. Instead, parties seem to have moved on, selecting candidates for the polls that will be held in 2 phases on October 17th and October 19th. It will be a 2-phase poll. The first phase includes 9 municipal corporations, 60 municipalities, 259 town panchayats and 191 panchayat unions. The second phase includes 65 municipalities, 270 town panchayats and 194 panchayat unions. The polls are a massive exercise, and what's more, voters can choose not to vote for any candidate by registering on Form 21.
மாநகராட்சி மேயர் மற்றும் 200 மாமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களுக்கான தேர்தல் நடத்த ஆயத்த பணிகள் அனைத்தும் செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளன. இந்த மாமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களுக்கான வேட்பு மனுவை தாக்கல் செய்வதற்கு 35 உதவி தேர்தல் நடத்தும் அலுவலர்கள் நியமிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளார்கள். மேயர் தேர்தலுக்கான வேட்பு மனுவை ரிப்பன் மாளிகையிலே மாநகராட்சி ஆணையாளரான என்னிடமும், இதுக்கு உதவி தேர்தல் நடத்தும் அலுவலராக நியமிக்கப்பட்டுள்ள மேற்பார்வை பொறியாளர் பேருந்து சாலைகள் துறை சூப்பர்டிங் இன்ஜினியர் பஸ் ரூட் ரோட்ஸ் அவர்களிடமும் வேட்பு மனுவை தாக்கல் செய்யலாம்.
Close to 44.5 lakh voters from the expanded Chennai will be eligible to vote, and the battle lines have been drawn by not only the political heavyweights DMK and AIADMK, but by every party, big and small.
இந்த தேர்தலில் பொதுமக்கள் கூப்பிட்ட குரலுக்கு ஓடோடி வந்து ஊழியம் புரிகிற சேவகர்களாய் இந்த திமுக கழகத்தை சேர்ந்த நிர்வாகிகள் இருப்பார்கள் என்கின்ற அந்த அளவில் வாக்களிப்பார்கள் என்கின்ற நம்பிக்கை இருக்கிறது.
இந்த தேர்தலில் வெற்றி பெற்று ஒரு புதிய அணுகுமுறையுடன் பல்வேறு தரமான நல திட்டங்கள், எதிர்கால விரிவாக்க பணிகள் என புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள், மாண்புமிகு புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் பல்வேறு விதமான சாதனைகளை, மக்களுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்புகளை இன்றைக்கு பூர்த்தி செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள்.
The DMK is currently sitting pretty in the local body with a majority. But can it return in equal if not greater strength, especially since the AIADMK has delivered on many poll promises? That is the big question. In Chennai, with Janani, this is Ashmit Kumar for NDTV Hindu. Well, staying with, of course, those local body elections, unhappy with the Amma-led AIADMK, Vijay Kant has decided to steer clear instead of its alliance partners, at least for the civic body polls. Now, the DMDK failed to develop consensus with the ruling AIADMK over mayoral seats. Now, the party had been demanding 4 out of 10, while the AIADMK allegedly named its own contestants in all the 10 seats without consulting the captain. Now, flying solo, the DMDK announced its own list of candidates for the upcoming polls. Now, taking on the current incumbent, Mayor M. Subramanian in Chennai, will be Mr. K. Vel Murugan. The party will be represented by Kavi Arasu in Madurai. Meanwhile, R. Pandian takes on the challenge for the DMDK in Coimbatore. Now, Salem will feature A.R. Elangovan. A. Sita Lakshmi will be eyeing the top post in Tirunelveli, and S. Satyavani will be fighting from Vellore. And N.S. Sivakumar will represent the party from Erode, Dinesh Kumar from Tirupur, and S. Rajeshwari from Tuticorin. Well, Vaiko-led MDMK have initiated the solo spree, also announced the list of candidates. Now taking on the challenge in Chennai will be N. Manoharan. Arjuna Raj will contest from Kovai, and B. Sethupati will fight from Madurai. Now Dr. R.S. Mohammed will aim for the top spot from Trichy. Punkudi Swaminathan will represent the MDMK from Erode, while Alama Nagaraj will face off against the contenders from Tirupur. From Tirunelveli, Maheshwari Natarajan takes on the mantle, and Professor Fatima Babu will contest for the post of mayor from Tuticorin. Well, meanwhile, there is a slight friction between the left allies of the state government as well, reportedly unhappy over the locations of the seats allotted. Now, the left parties are mulling over their options. The CPI today clarified that no meeting had taken place with the AIADMK today. The CPI will be conducting the Executive Council meeting tomorrow to develop a plan of action for talks with the ruling party. Now, the talks last evening with the AIADMK had failed, with the left party staging a walkout of the meeting. Now, meanwhile, the CPI and the CPM are yet to finalize and announce their list of candidates. The CPI is expected to make the list public tomorrow, while the CPM is likely to announce the names by Sunday evening or by Monday morning. In other political developments, in an open admission, the DMK chief Karunanidhi today conceded that infighting within the party had costed the party the 2011 assembly elections. Now, Karunanidhi also slammed the arrests of various senior party leaders under the land grab offensive as an attempt by political rivals to target the DMK's prospects in the civic body elections. Well, staying with the DMK, the treasurer of the party, Mr. M.K. Stalin, today filed the nomination papers on behalf of jailed party colleague and former minister K.N. Nehru for the October 13th by-election to the Trichy West Assembly constituency. Now, Mr. Nehru, arrested recently on land-grabbing charges, has been nominated by the DMK for the by-polls caused by the death of Minister Mariam Pichai of the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. Now, speaking to reporters after filing the papers, Mr. Stalin said that Mr. Nehru's imprisonment will not affect his prospects of the party in the elections.
சீப்பை ஒழித்து வைத்து விடுகிற காரணத்தால் திருமணம் நின்று விடாது. எனவே நேரு மட்டும் வேட்பாளர் அல்ல. நேருடைய வெற்றிக்காக பாடுபட இருக்கக்கூடிய திமுக கழகத்தின் அத்தனை பேருமே வேட்பாளராக கருதி இந்த தேர்தலில் வெற்றிக்காக நாங்கள் பாடுபட இருக்கிறோம். எல்லா சிறையிலுமே கெடுபிடி இருக்கு. ஆனால் அதிகமான கெடுபிடி திருச்சி சிறையில் இருப்பதாக நாங்கள் இதுவரை அறிந்திருக்கிறோம். மேலிடத்தினுடைய உத்தரவு. அவர் அதிகாரிகளை கேட்டால் நாங்கள் என்ன செய்வது, மேலிடத்தின் உத்தரவு என்று ஒரே வரியில் பதில் சொல்கிறார். அதான் திருச்சியில் இடைத்தேர்தல் நடக்குதுல்ல, அதனால் அது திருச்சியில் தான் அதிகமான கைதுகளும் திமுகவினுடைய நிர்வாகிகளும் அதிகமாக கைது செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கக்கூடிய இடமும் திருச்சியாகத்தான் இருக்கிறது. ஆக இதற்கு காரணம் திருச்சியில் நடைபெற இருக்கக்கூடிய இடைத்தேர்தலில் எப்படியாவது திமுகவினரை மிரட்டி வெற்றியை பெற வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக துடித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள்.
Well, today a delegation led by BJP's Vanathi Srinivasan submitted a petition to the Chennai Commissioner of Police J.K. Tripathi, urging the police to reopen the 2007 attack case in which BJP's Chennai office was ransacked. Now, 4 years back, hundreds of alleged DMK workers ransacked the BJP's Tamil Nadu unit in the city. According to allegations, demonstrations in response to comments by BJP's Ramvilas Vedanti against Karunanidhi had turned violent. Now, Ramvilas had taken a dig at the DMK chief for his reported remarks against Lord Ram. Now, BJP office bearers alleged that a large number of DMK workers barged into the office premises in the T Nagar area in the morning and smashed the window panes and glass doors with clubs. The miscreants also pelted stones and damaged vehicles parked inside the office complex and broke the flag mast of the party. Now, BJP's Vanathi has urged the police commissioner to bring the offenders to the book.
தென்சென்னையினுடைய மாவட்ட செயலாளர் திரு ஜே அன்பழகன் அவருடைய தலைமையிலே வன்முறைக்கு தூண்டும் விதமாகவும் அவர்களுடைய கட்சி தொண்டர்களை அரசாங்கத்தினுடைய மாநகர பஸ்களிலே கொண்டு வந்து தலைமை அலுவலகத்தை அடித்து நொறுக்கினார்கள். இதற்காக கிரிமினல் வழக்கு தொடரப்பட்டு நிலுவையில் இருந்து வந்தது. ஒரு துணை ஆணையாளர் நேரடியாக விசாரணை நடத்தி இதனுடைய விசாரணை அறிக்கையை தாக்கல் செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று உத்தரவிட்டும் கூட நாங்கள் புகாரிலே குறிப்பிடப்பட்ட மிக முக்கிய நபர்களை எல்லாம் பெயர்களை சேர்க்காமல் குற்றப்பத்திரிகை தாக்கல் செய்திருந்தது முந்தைய அரசாங்கம். அதை மறு விசாரணை செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று நீதிமன்றத்திலே நாங்கள் மனு செய்திருந்தோம். இப்போது அந்த வழக்கிலே திரும்பவும் விசாரணை செய்து நியாயமான முறையிலே நாங்கள் குறிப்பிடப்பட்ட அனைத்து நபர்களையும் தகுந்த சாட்சியங்களின் அடிப்படையில் அவர்கள் மீது நடவடிக்கை எடுக்க வேண்டும்.
Well, taking a step away from politics now, find out on the other side how the money magnet Chennai Super Kings is now betting on Hussey to rake in the moolah. That's up on the other side.